Hi, we're here today with Miko, and Miko, I understand Backup Exec has some capabilities around cloud. You're going to talk about the cloud connectors, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, Jason. So what we did with Backup Exec 15 Feature Pack 2 that was released in November, we just came out with Backup Exec Cloud Connectors, which means that you can now natively from within Backup Exec back up to a supported S3 compatible cloud. So what that really means is that we're getting a lot of new ways how you can protect your environment and also have additional copies stored offsite in addition to your local destination and your tape backup. So we have Backup Exec 15 here on premise, and we have, of course, the options of backing up to disk and backing up to tape. And in addition to that, you can now, with Backup Exec 15 Feature Pack 2, define and configure a cloud storage destination. You need to subscribe to that cloud storage vendor you want to use, but basically you can have a duplicate of your backups, or even directly you can back up to a S3 compatible connector, but you can create a duplicate of your backups that you have already backed up to disk and get them duplicated into S3 compatible storage vendors in the cloud. So that means that you can have a agile IT, really helps you have a better backup and disaster recovery plan in place by having an automated offsite copy of your business critical backups available in the cloud storage vendor that you want to use for the purpose. And this really covers multiple different use cases. So you can use that duplicate of a local backup to disk and then duplicate to cloud, or you can even create a instance in the cloud. You can use, for example, Amazon EC2. We support any IaaS infrastructure as a service provider with Backup Exec, and you can create backups locally within the Amazon cloud, in this case in EC2, into Amazon S3. And that just makes everything simple in a way that you don't have to move anything outside Amazon cloud, which would otherwise incur some cost as well when you move any data outside the cloud vendors in most cases. So in the cloud scenario, you can back up with Backup Exec 15 directly, for example, into S3, or in the on-premise scenario, you can create a disk backup first of all for quick local restores needs, and then have a longer-term backup created into S3, and you can even design if you want to archive that for longer-term storage. What you need to keep an eye on is that if you're doing the on-premise scenario and you want to do a verify of your backups, verify basically moves data out of that cloud. So if you have an on-premise Backup Exec installation and you're doing a verifier operation, that will incur a cost in many cases depending on the cloud storage vendor pricing. Something that I also want to mention is that we have a Amazon AWS test drive available for Backup Exec 15 with the cloud connector. So if you Google just AWS test drive or Amazon test drive and Backup Exec, you can find an Amazon page where you can go for free without having an Amazon account and try out Backup Exec and the S3 cloud connector for Amazon overall without having to create any of your own images, your own VMs or instances in EC2. This is of course a high performance connector, so you can really get a good performance as good as your connection, as good as your network bandwidth is. So it's a high performance connector that allows you really to store at the ingress rate of what's available for your environment. And for the list of all the supported cloud vendors, please go to backupexec.com/compatibility for the latest list of supported vendors that are available with the cloud connector today.
So Miko, that's wonderful information about Backup Exec and cloud capabilities. I'm sure everybody's wondering, how's this licensed? How does one license this module?
Great question. So if you already have Backup Exec, you are licensed for the cloud connector. So the Backup Exec cloud connector is included in each and every license of Backup Exec.
Okay, that's great information, Miko. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.